I'm T-Set, and this is a tea time lapse. I made these 3 pieces right before I went on a trip. It had been a while since I had gone on a trip like this, and I didn't know how it would affect me with my chronic illness, so I really wanted to get some pieces done right before I left. I'm still playing Fantasy Life. I haven't finished the story, I'm busy leveling up in all of the classes. But I thought it would be fun to draw some NPCs. So first up, I'm drawing Auntie Anne, of course. She's the NPC that runs Eternia Village's guild office. She's a really fun character, and you crash land into her house pretty early on in the game, and she demands that you pay for her damages. And then once you save up enough money to pay her back, she's like, oh no, you can keep this money, I just wanted you to commit to learning a job class. But she always has these stories about when she was younger and was getting up to all these adventures and all of these men fancied her, and the game always cuts it off like, oh no, we don't want to listen to this older woman talk about her heydays. I would love to listen to this older woman talk about her heydays. And I know I'm not alone, I know there's other people who really love this character. Granted, if they don't tell you all the details of the stories, you can imagine them as being as, like, heightened as you want them to be, so it's probably smart that they cut it off and leave it to the imagination, but gosh. I will say, as much as I love the character, there are elements of her design, specifically her outfit, that I'm not a huge fan of. I don't know, maybe I'll do a redesign drawing later on. I might actually do some time period research if I want to do this. I wouldn't give myself any restrictions because I don't believe Fantasy Life is particularly interested in, like, accuracy, but it could give me inspiration. So many of the Fantasy Life Eye characters are wearing sandals, which means that I have to draw feet, and I don't particularly like drawing feet. But I use reference for my hands, and so they're at a certain level of quality, so I have to do the same for feet so that they match. I was using some cutscene screenshots for reference for drawing this, and I wish I had also used some screenshots from inside the guild office, because I think my colors are a little bit off. But hey, it's recognizably a drawing of Auntie Anne, and so that's what's most important. I wish I had put some Eternia flowers growing here, but I just didn't think of it at the time. By the way, sorry I say all the place names kind of weird, it's just what comes naturally to me. I could make myself say them more like American English. But like, why bother? It's a fantasy setting. And here's my finished Auntie Anne drawing. And onto Marcen, the Mercenary Master. I really have to look up who the other combat class masters are, because I was thinking like, oh, I have the best one, Marcen's the best one, and then realized I don't even know the other characters. But I just think it's so wonderful that our grizzled Mercenary Master is the softest, cutest fantasy race of the game, a plushling. And I loved drawing the soft forms of his body. It was so nice. I was lucky that I took a cutscene screenshot of his sword from behind, because otherwise I don't know that I would have had good reference for the sword at all. And the reference I had still didn't show the bottom half of the sheath, so I had to make it up. And now for line art. He looks so concerned. I think this is called a crest, but I don't know. It gave me some difficulties to try to get it at the right shape, and I think I make it taller later on in the video. He's so soft, I love him. This sheath is so detailed, and it's just behind his back where you can't see it for most of the game. Why? Why was this done? I I didn't properly reference this hand because I didn't want to pull out something to hold that was the right width. Also, while barefooted, Marcen doesn't have human feet, so I didn't have to reference real feet. In-game, the plushlings don't even have toes, they just have these two little stumps, and I was like, I need to make these a bit longer and give them toes. Otherwise, it'll just look weird in my style. One thing I'm not sure of is if his palms are supposed to be a pink color, the same as the bottoms of his feet. And I think his nails are supposed to be painted a dark color, but I'm not sure. Maybe I should have searched harder to see if I could find concept art, but oh well. When I make pieces that I'm not going to properly shade, I do still like to add some highlights to like the hair and metal and gemstones and things. I feel like it brings just enough texture to the piece that it helps with the flatness. Because I knew I wouldn't have time to properly shade all these pieces before I went on the trip. But that is my finished Marcen piece. And now on to Princess Rem. Ren is the beloved little sister of the leader of Mysteria. She's a little clumsy and yearns for adventure, but is overprotected by her brother. I'm not quite as fond of her as I was of Princess Laura or Laura in the first game, but she is cute. I was actually originally going to draw Skelligon as my third character, but I just could not wrap my head around the skull. It just wasn't working, so I decided to draw a human character. For people who don't play, Skelligon is the time-traveling skeleton dragon. He's your fast travel across the different maps. Very minor, vague spoiler, but Princess Rem has some magical powers, and so I wanted her to be using them in this picture. And I wanted her to sort of feel like she had gone from tippy toes to slightly floating. I wanted to give her a sort of sad, yearning expression. Pretty early on in the game, from your present day, you receive a message from the past of her pleading for you to help. I was really concerned that this trip I went on was going to just destroy my body. So imagine my shock and surprise when I'm fine. And that must mean that my health has improved so much more than I realized it had in the past 2 years. Which means that if I want to, I can be doing a lot more than I have been, and that makes me really optimistic for the future. Like, maybe if I did want to try streaming, that wouldn't be so far in the future as I've been thinking it would be. Also, I want to start doing daily Tai Chi again. Now that I know I can do it without making myself sick, I've missed it so much, I want to reclaim it. I feel like a number of the sandals in the game don't really make sense. Like, they wouldn't actually be very comfortable. For Rem, I mostly referenced a piece of promo art, and so the colors are a lot more on point to what they are supposed to be in the game, I think. If you're looking to draw Celestia's Gifts flowers, I feel like Rem's promo art has the clearest image that I've seen so far. And now to make a magical glow effect. I considered adding an additional like rainbow glow around, but ended up scrapping it. It was just too much lighting going on for a piece that was supposed to be mostly flat. And I almost forgot Rem's skirt pattern. but I did remember it in the end. And here is my final piece of Rem. As always, thank you so much for watching.